Let's look at how to form the bow shape, or the internal bow. So we have two anchor points, the abdomen and the throat, or the head and the body. So by applying an internal pressure synchronized with the breathing, we breathe out, maintain this pressure here. This is the bottom end of the bow. There's a curvature in the bow that the string is pulled tight with. So the pelvis is slightly upturned. As we breathe out, this stretches the spine downwards, applying the pressure here in the abdomen. So naturally, the top end of the bow is the pit of the throat, again, which pressure is applied to in two main ways. By making the ha sound, this applies pressure to the throat, and using the hips and abdomen physically by rotating the pelvis forward slightly, stretching the base of the spine. So with the pelvis turned out slightly, we exhale with the ha. This links the pelvis, base of the spine, to the top of the spine, around the throat area. You can feel an engagement of the throat if you just place the right hand over the left, underneath the left. You may be able to feel your heart rate and a certain pressure in the throat, making the ha sound. This causes a pressure in the throat. So this is how we link the bottom end to the top. To secure this tying in of the energy centers of the throat and the abdomen, you can just press the tongue against the top palate towards the back. Immediately upon doing this, you will feel that the throat is not only engaged but also constricted slightly, and a pressure is applied. So by maintaining this, pointing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, the palate, top palate, we can secure this tightening as though we're tying two ends of the bow together. So the bottom end is tied by rotating the pelvis, maintaining this pressure here, and pressing the tongue against the roof of the mouth or top of the throat. Now you'll feel an interconnectivity of the whole body, which if you maintain through your practice, will embed this principle so that it becomes more natural. So this is the internal tightening. So to recap, we make the ha sound. This resonates deeply in the abdomen, the lower abdomen, which is the Hara Centre. This engages the throat with just the ha sound. Once we've established this link, if we apply pressure, light pressure, to the roof of the mouth, the top palate, and the back of the throat, this can be done by attempting to touch the area at the back of the top palate with the throat, and you'll feel a lifting of the pressure, a lifting of the neck and throat. This raises the energies so that they're not just here, we're raising them up to cause a circulation and to link heaven to earth, top to bottom. Now once this link is tightened, through the spine, the central nervous system, we have an intertwining of the two opposites, Ida, Pingala, Yin and Yang. So if these are slack, then there's just a regular loose connection. However, the entire aim of the internal side of martial arts is to tighten this link, tighten these threads, these two threads, Ida and Pingala, Yin and Yang, so that they, like a double helix, so that they rotate around the central axis in a tight, anchored way. So we need these two anchor points. If you had a rope and you were to place it across your knee, the pressure would be applied at the point of pressure as you pull down. So in the same way, when we tighten the internal bow, we need pressure at the top and at the bottom to increase the integrity of the thread. So as we pull the bow and release, this is the analogy we can use. So the entire point is to tighten these two channels, these two threads, so they become one through the spine. So the spine is pulled upwards when we apply pressure to the throat by applying pressure to the roof of the mouth, and as we sink down into our posture, there's a lift from the top, sinking down, a stretching down of the spine, and a pulling up at the top. So we can make various sounds to encourage this. But the silent sound we're making is just when the breath happens through the nose. Nasal breathing encourages greater nervous system use. So by applying pressure to the roof of the mouth, mouth breathing is reduced. However, when we need to make a powerful release, we can go ha. So this releases the pressure, which is maintained like the tightness of a bow at just the right just the right pressure. It's a bit like a guitar string. We can create the harmony with just the right pressure, not too tight, not too lax. So this is how we can use the human bow, the string being the spine, the nervous system, the two pressure points, top and bottom here. With the posture itself, there's a turning up and sinking down, and a slight stooping at the top, creating a curvature but also a straight line. So we lift from the heart center, the solar plexus, sink down. So we have this lift, sinking down here, the Hara Centre. We have this lift, as well as this compressive force. It's this complementary dropping of the centre, lifting at the top. So with this bow, we're looking to tighten the strings so that they're tightly attached to each other. So the key is to form an attachment between the two energy channels of yin and yang, so that you're attached to this, and this becomes the base of training, rather than beating an opponent, stressing about this, externalizing everything and spreading your attention, dividing your attention. If it becomes single-pointed towards tightening this, the grip on this link of these two intertwining channels of Ida, Pingala, Yin and Yang, which forms a double helix-like structure, then this becomes your karma or your single goal. And everything is aimed at this, rather than externalizing the muscle side of things or the mind, winning, losing. This doesn't matter if you're maintaining this connection, this internal connection. So this becomes the basis of single motivation. And anyway, if the if this link is maintained, if this attachment is maintained to these two channels, this tightening of the integrity, strengthening of the bow, then the martial arts side of things will anyway take care of itself to a large extent, so that we can minimize the need to externalize everything, because everything becomes more embedded and springs from this central core rather than externally being learnt or absorbed from outside. We learn it from within.